He looks at the night sky as if searching for answers. He sighs deeply when he's alone. He murmurs your name in his sleep. He keeps objects that you left behind. He goes through old photos before bedtime. He tells his friends that, whatever, if you're doing well. He pretends to be indifferent when they ask about you. He laughs too loudly when your name comes up. He changes the subject with practiced ease. He avoids places that might spark memories. He tries to convince everyone that he has moved on. But when night falls and silence settles, it's your face he sees before closing his eyes. If this feeling resonates with something inside you, comment, "I feel that energy." Your experience can light the way for other women who feel the same, but doubt their intuition. Have you ever felt that silent certainty that comes out of nowhere? That feeling of being remembered even when there's no tangible evidence? It's not a coincidence. It's not your imagination, it's real. It's him somewhere trying to fall asleep while your image refuses to leave his mind. He said whatever when someone asked about you. He shrugged as if you were just another person who passed through his life. He said your name with apparent indifference. He assured everyone that he moved on a long time ago. A perfect performance, an impeccable lie, a convincing facade. But the truth is that your name still echoes in his mind in the most unexpected moments. That your laughter still resonates in his memory when everything is silent. That your scent still seems to linger in the air when he least expects it. He said, whatever, because admitting the truth would mean acknowledging the pain. It would expose the vulnerability he desperately tries to hide. It would be confessing that, despite all the time that has passed, you still occupy a space in his heart that no one else has been able to fill. The universe knows the truth behind empty words. Energy doesn't lie. True feelings always find a way to manifest, even when we try to stifle them with feigned indifference. If this feeling resonates with you, share in the comments. I acknowledge this silent truth. Your courage can help other women trust their intuition. What you don't see is how he looks for signs from you in every corner, how he searches for your name on social media and quickly closes the window when someone gets too close, how he stares at his phone for long minutes, thinking about writing something, anything, just to know how you're doing. But pride is a wall too high for some confessions. He tries to convince himself that he's better off this way, that you weren't compatible, that what he feels is just nostalgia for a time, not longing for a specific person. So many lies he repeats to himself, hoping that one day they will become true. But dreams betray him. Lonely nights reveal truths that the day can disguise. He wakes up with your name on the tip of his tongue, confused, disoriented, with the feeling that you were there, real and present. And he spends the entire day trying to erase that vivid image that haunts him. You look tired today, say the people close to him. But he just smiles and makes up some excuse. How could he explain that he spent the night dreaming of you? How can he admit that he woke up missing you with an intensity that frightened him? How can he confess that the person he claims is whatever is the same one that occupies his deepest thoughts? What he will never reveal is how every song you listen to together still sparks emotions he desperately tries to suppress. How certain places in the city are avoided because they carry memories that are too heavy. How specific dates on the calendar are met with a mix of nostalgia and pain. He thought time would heal everything, that distance would erase feelings, that new experiences would replace memories. But some scars are too deep to be simply wiped away. The spiritual truth hovering over this situation transcends rational understanding. There are connections that defy time and space, bonds that remain intact, even when we try to sever them with words of indifference. Some would call it destiny, others residual energy, but it's deeper than that. It's an imprint on the soul that doesn't easily fade, no matter how much time passes. When you think of him with calmness, without the weight of past hurt, know this. At that very moment, something within him resonates, a subtle vibration, a silent acknowledgement, a connection that persists beyond logical comprehension. These are the energies still conversing, in a communication that transcends words. He may have rebuilt his life. He may be with other people. He may follow a routine that doesn't include you physically, but there is a space in his nighttime thoughts that remains untouched, reserved exclusively for your memory. Energy doesn't lie. Intuition doesn't fail. Recurring dreams reveal what words try to hide. If this message resonates deeply with you, share in the comments. I trust in the truth beyond words. Your experience could be the beacon that other women need right now. What he could never express is how he now understands every moment you shared, how he belatedly treasures the little things that seemed insignificant at the time, how he recognizes the signs he couldn't interpret when you were together. There are confessions he formulates mentally during sleepless nights, words he rehearses in silence, knowing they will probably never be spoken out loud. It's not true that it doesn't matter. I think about you more than I'd like to admit. Some nights are harder than others. Certain songs still bring you back. I lie to everyone, even to myself, and these unspoken confessions echo within him, searching for an escape that pride stubbornly insists on blocking. Can you feel it? That invisible connection that sometimes seems to vibrate without any apparent explanation? It's not imagination. It's real communication happening on an energetic level, a dialogue that transcends the limitations of physical space and time. His dreams have been occurring more frequently, more vivid, more revealing than the very reality he's awake in, and almost always with the same theme, reuniting with you, saying what has been stuck in his throat, expressing whatever desperately tries to hide. The interesting thing about these nighttime revelations is that they don't follow the rational logic we build during the day. They arrive unannounced, unveiling truths that the conscious mind tries to deny with all its might. He may even try to rationalize these dreams. He may look for scientific explanations to justify why you still appear in his most vulnerable moments. But deep down, he knows it goes beyond synapses and random memories. It's a connection that persists, a presence that refuses to completely disappear, an energy that keeps circulating even when all the physical bridges seem to have been cut. The physical body doesn't lie, even when words do. There's a slight tremor in his hands when your name unexpectedly comes up in conversation, a micro-expressive change in his face that denotes emotion before the mask of indifference slips back into place, a subtle shift in his breathing that only the most observant can notice. That man who said he doesn't care whether you're okay, whether you're happy, whether you've moved on, is the same one who spends hours imagining what his life would be like if he had made different choices, if he had valued what they had, if he had been honest about his feelings when there was still time. What if you two met today? After all this time, he tried to convince everyone that it doesn't matter. He would probably still try to maintain a facade of indifference. He'd smile casually, ask about your life with a carefully measured interest, talk about himself without revealing anything truly significant, but his eyes would betray him, because the eyes always reveal what words try to hide. And for a fleeting moment, you'd see all the truth concealed behind the "it doesn't matter." You'd see the regret, the longing, the belated acknowledgement, the restrained emotion that no words of indifference can genuinely mask. Because women like you, who have always been intuitive and connected to more subtle energies, can see beyond appearances. You can feel the truth behind carefully constructed facades, and in that silent recognition, something would be healed in both of you. A truth would finally be admitted, even if only through a glance. A cycle would find its natural conclusion, allowing for new beginnings to become possible. That's how energy flows. That's how the universe operates. That's how souls communicate, even when words say otherwise. The spiritual realm always finds ways to manifest truths we resist accepting in the material plane. And the truth is that this experience transformed you both, each in your own way. You who learned to trust your perception, even when words said otherwise, who developed the ability to see the truth behind social masks, who strengthened your connection with your own intuition. He who lives torn between the public image of indifference and the nighttime thoughts that insist on bringing you back. Who learns, slowly and sometimes painfully, that denying feelings doesn't mean eliminating them. Have you ever had that inexplicable feeling that someone is thinking deeply about you? That intuition that comes out of nowhere, with no rational explanation? It's your energy field picking up signals that the conscious mind doesn't always fully process. If something inside you insists that there's more going on than meets the eye, pay attention. It's not a coincidence. It's synchronicity. He said, "I don't care." He acted as if you were just another page turned. He convinced everyone that your absence doesn't matter. He worked hard to create an image of complete detachment. He built a fortress of indifference around himself. He mastered the art of saying your name without showing any emotion. But when night falls, when defenses come down, when there's no audience to impress, when it's just him and his most intimate thoughts left, it's your face he sees before falling asleep. It's your voice that echoes in his memory. It's your presence he misses even if he never admits it. It's you who inhabits his most vivid dreams. And in that moment of complete vulnerability, the truth he tries so hard to hide during the day finally finds space to exist. The truth that he never really didn't care, that you were never just another person in his life, that your absence created a void he still hasn't been able to fill completely. If this message resonates with something deep inside you, share in the comments. I see beyond the words. Your intuition may light the way for other women who doubt what they feel. Trust what you perceive beyond the words. Honor your intuition when it reveals truths that contradict what has been said. Believe in the inner wisdom that sees beyond appearances. Because while he continues to say, "I don't care" to the world, perhaps trying to convince himself more than anyone else, you move forward, connected with deeper, more authentic and transformative truths. And this expanded consciousness is undoubtedly the greatest gift this journey could offer you. He can keep saying whatever. He can continue repeating that phrase like a protective mantra. He can hide behind this facade of indifference. But the truth is that every night, when defenses drop and honesty finds space to exist, he still thinks of you. And that makes all the difference. The most interesting thing about these deep connections is that they don't need physical proximity to continue existing. Even from a distance, even after months or years of separation, even when all apparent ties have been cut, the energy keeps flowing. The silent communication persists. The presence continues to be felt. That's why you sometimes wake up in the middle of the night with the inexplicable feeling that you dreamed of him. Why certain objects, songs, or places evoke emotions that seem to come from another time. Why in moments of quiet, you sense an invisible presence that you can't explain rationally. These are the energetic bridges that remain intact, even when physical bridges have seemingly been destroyed. This is the ancient wisdom that our ancestors understood deeply. The understanding that there are connections that transcend the material plane, bonds that remain alive in dimensions that eyes cannot see, but that the heart recognizes instantly. For him, saying whatever is a desperate attempt to maintain control, to preserve the image he has carefully constructed, to protect himself from the vulnerability that his name still evokes. But the night has its own magic, a power to dissolve masks, to reveal truths, to bring to light what we try to hide under the light of day. When all the external noises fade away, when there are no more distractions left, when it's just him and his deepest thoughts, it is then that the truth emerges with crystal clarity. It is then that whatever transforms into "I miss you." It is then that the manufactured indifference gives way to genuine longing. It is then that the carefully constructed barriers crumble under the weight of memories. As the world sleeps, he experiences his most honest moment, revisiting conversations, remembering moments, imagining alternate paths, wondering what it would be like if you both had another chance. And this nighttime honesty, this truth that only finds space to exist when there are no witnesses, is the most powerful testament that whatever was never really true. It was never true that your absence doesn't matter. It was never true that you were easily forgotten. It was never true that moving on was simple or quick. The lie he tells the world during the day is contradicted by the thoughts that inhabit him at night. And while you continue your journey, expanding your consciousness, strengthening your intuition, honoring your inner wisdom, he remains trapped in this cycle of daytime denial and nighttime confession. Until one day, perhaps, he finds the courage to admit to himself what his heart already knows, that it never was whatever, that you were never just another person, that the space you occupy in his nighttime thoughts is the truest testament to the impact you had on his life, and in that recognition, perhaps he will also find the freedom that you have already discovered, the peace that comes from accepting truths instead of denying them, the lightness that arises when we stop fighting against what we truly feel, because in the end, this is the most powerful lesson this journey offers all of us, that true freedom does not come from denying feelings but from honoring them. It doesn't come from feigning indifference, but from embracing authenticity. It doesn't come from saying whatever, when in reality it matters deeply. And as you continue on your path connected to this wisdom, he remains caught between the daytime lies and the nighttime truth, between the whatever he tells the world and the thoughts about you that still linger with him when night falls. Trust what you feel. Honor your perception. Celebrate the intuition that allows you to see beyond words, beyond appearances, beyond the carefully constructed facades, because this is your true strength, the gift of seeing what is hidden, of feeling what is not said, of knowing truths that transcend the limitations of words. And while he remains trapped in the contradiction between what he says and what he feels, you move forward in freedom, in authenticity, in truth. He can keep saying, whatever. He can maintain that facade for as long as he needs. He can hide behind that armor of indifference, but when the lights go out, when the silence of the night settles in, when there are no more witnesses to his performance, it is you that he thinks of. It is your image that appears before sleep takes him. It is your absence that still weighs heavily, even after all this time. And this nighttime truth, this silent confession that never reaches your ears, is more real and more powerful than any whatever he may say to the world.